Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. This is Essence of Life. Today we're talking about what is the nature of knowledge. I'm Amanda Armagast.
I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence. What a deep question, Amanda.
I know, and I actually chose this question specifically for you because I feel like knowledge is kind of like one of your defense mechanisms, where when you're feeling like the world is crashing down around you, one of the things that you like to do is gain knowledge. So a lot of times I've noticed that you like to spend time listening to audiobooks, you spend a lot of time researching and thinking in general. And then now TikTok, you spend a lot of time watching actually educational TikToks. And on Tuesday, you just came up with an announcement for the team that said, from now on, you're only making educational TikToks. So that's why I chose this topic for you. What is the nature of knowledge?
Well, a little background about that, most of people actually prefer an entertainment to knowledge. But I don't believe there are two different issues. You can combine them.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to, package knowledge in appropriate pieces to pass it on. Now, like anybody on any social media, it seems that I have a lot of haters.
Yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday. Because I told you, like, oh, you have so many fans. And you're like, yeah, and I have a lot of haters.
Yeah.
But without eyes on you, you would have nothing. So you can't have eyes on you and have everyone love what you're doing.
I'm aware of that. Now, it's part of that I understand. I'm in a position as a doctor, as a physician, as a surgeon that
An
they
entrepreneur,
expect more of me. But on the other hand, I can start giving you human anatomy bone by bone, muscle by muscle. You will walk out of this store and you have gained nothing. But I can tell you which nerve innervate this, and you will never forget it.
Yeah, true.
And that is the nature of the knowledge, passing the knowledge. You have to pack it in a package, in an envelope, that it reaches the target. Mm-hmm. And that is what I have been doing. And I think you will always have people who are angry with you, and they always will look for something to criticize you. You, as an influencer yourself, have noted that you cannot do right. But obviously, I understand that I'm expected to be above certain level. But the knowledge, and that's, yes, you are absolutely right. When the whole world breaks around me, I want to gain more knowledge, because knowledge is power.
Yeah.
You cannot be fooled if you have the knowledge. If you know things, people cannot tell you this and that, and you can look through the nonsense bullshit when you know things. Now, but knowing things is not as trivial as it sounds.
Yeah.
Like, what's my first name?
Hamid.
But that's not really my first name. That is not the way it's pronounced, like Misha.
Yeah, Misha is not his first name. So, actually, when we met Misha, he was James.
Yeah. You see that there? Now, knowledge has so many nuances and so many levels, so many layers, that and it is like a Shrek told to the donkey. It's like onions. Every time you think you know what something, there's another layer behind that. Just yesterday, I did a TikTok about that. Now, I'm not sure if you watched it or not.
I haven't seen it.
Good. Then let me ask you a question. You have seen the map of the world, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know where's United States, where's India, right?
Yeah, I can look at it and see.
Yeah. Do you think a ship on the water can go straight line from India to United States?
Well, no, I don't think that.
Okay, just looking at the map is just madness, craziness, right? Because you know the map, that is knowledge. But that map is a flat surface, whereas Earth is not a flat surface. As a matter of fact, if you go from western part of the India down toward Africa, Indian Ocean, you pass between Madagascar and Africa, you come to South Africa, you go further down, and you actually go to the closer to Antarctica, you pass through the strait that is between Chile and the South Pole or Antarctica. And then you continue, you pass all the islands in the middle of the Pacific, and you end up in Alaska. So there is a straight line in the water from India to the United States. But the normal map would never show it to you, because a normal map is just one of the layers of the knowledge. Now, there's another thing, that what most of people don't understand about the knowledge is, there's something that, that people definitely know. Like it has something to do with our political views. We always get what affirms our political views from anything out there.
Yeah, I was just having a fight online about this, because I was telling people, like, if it was about the Minnesota flag, people were hating on the new Minnesota flag because they don't understand that the old one has offense to specific groups of people. And I was trying to explain to them, you can go online and you can understand it, or you can continue to hate on the flag. But then, of course, whatever you look for, you're going to find. So these people were telling me, no one likes the flag. The flag has bad views. The flag is getting bad ratings. Well, it was voted on. So yeah, it's all, whatever you look for, you're going to find what you're looking for.
And that is the so-called bias in acquiring the knowledge. Because, if you are right or left-leaning, you look at 100 news, you practically overlook anything that doesn't fit your
that you don't
views.
Agree with. It doesn't fit
and then
your
you just get affirmation in your own political views and so on. But that's not necessarily limited to the political views.
Philosophy. I mean, every philosopher has a counter philosopher. So whatever you're choosing, that's who you're going to argue against.
Now, there is a practical example here that makes you understand it right away. Especially with children, when they are starting learning things, once they learn a word, they see it 3 to 5 times in the next 3 days. Like, you learn a new word, you learn a new name. You're just driving around, you will see that 3 to 5 times on the street. Why? You always saw it, but now it stays at your consciousness. It stays. Our knowledge. One of the books I want to write is about the nature of intelligence and nature of awareness and knowledge, because these are connected. I mean, knowledge is facts that help us to understand the world. Intelligence is putting those facts together from old information, making new information. And awareness is the process that enables us to do all of that. Now, our knowledge and our is like a net. Like when you are like 5 years old, you have huge holes in your net. Okay, most of the things just fall through, and you don't register them. But then when you grow up and when you do more, you have more information, more words, more knowledge, your net become tighter and tighter. And then, obviously, some people have very tight net in one area versus other area. Some people know everything about football and nothing about anything else. And some people know anything about the airplanes and nothing about something else. So this net is not equal everywhere. There are areas that this net is tighter. So meaning not only you have more knowledge, but you're able to absorb, attain, and retain more knowledge in that specific area. That's what specialization means. Like as a neurosurgeon, I know very little about the podiatry, and you can't give me all of that. It's just way over my head. But I'm more able to learn once I'm so specialized there. My mind, my intellect has a very tight net for this area. I'm able to acquire more knowledge in. But then that's as well the area that we then get fooled by our own knowledge. Because we know about that because we have a tight net. We are expecting that we understand everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they don't pour marbles in our net, but water, and we don't absorb it. Once you change the scenario, once you change the context, all of a sudden, our net is not tight and neat anymore. So all of that as well, it goes to another step that, in what is the context of this knowledge? Like, imagine you know everything about cars, and you'd see a vehicle that this just doesn't fit.
Like, you know everything about gas cars, but now there's an electric car.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you try to fit the electric car into the gas car world, or even worse, you try to fit your knowledge of the car, and you see something that it's flying. You don't know what the airplane is, but you try to fit airplane in a car model, and then all of a sudden the things don't make sense. And then that is how fanaticism is built. You have enough knowledge about something, and something that you believe should fit to your model, it doesn't fit there, then you just outright reject that. We have to fight with this right now.
Yeah, that's what you go through.
Yeah, well, now what did we do today, Amanda?
Couple of 3-level. I think you did 2 3-level fusions,
All the
and
fusions.
SIJ, and a battery replacement,
I'm
and
glad-
a lab, all
Yeah,
by 3.
yeah, and well, those 3-level fusion, they went home same day.
I actually
Yeah.
saw the first guy walking out on his way.
Yeah, after 3-level scoliosis surgery. Now, you said about your experience with the hospital that you were telling them that that's what we do. We do it. Tell your experience.
Yeah, I was meeting with the hospital that is in Texas, and I said, yeah, we do 3-level. We can do 3-level fusions in our surgery center and send them home same day, because I was trying to explain to them the financial benefit, the benefit to the patients, and they were saying to me, I've never heard of that before. And actually, I've seen it, obviously, multiple times. But then I was thinking, have I really seen that? Am I confused? Maybe it was a 2-level, or like, maybe, I don't know.
You see,
So
that's
then
another thing.
yeah, then their lack of, or their misunderstanding of the knowledge, I guess you could say, because it's not like a lack of knowledge.
Well, it is a lack of knowledge, but what you just mentioned,
it made me feel crazy.
Yes, see, knowledge is contagious, but as well, ignorance is contagious.
Yeah, the entire evening I was having anxiety, thinking like, great, I just lied to these people, and now they're gonna think we're like just a joke. But we did 2 3-level fusions today,
and the patient went home all within 3 hours.
Yeah.
So this is a knowledge that you have firsthand. It's not the second hand.
Yeah.
You observed that today, and but more importantly is that when you're conveying that knowledge, it doesn't fit their expectation and narrative, their net. So not only doesn't register, they're upright.
They reject it.
So we just recently went to a university. We gave a talk about what we do.
I was just talking about that today.
So now they practically, we showed them how something is done, but that wasn't fitting the narrative that they grew up with. So and then obviously they were trying to just find fault at this, because to keep maintain what is what familiar to them. So knowledge has a level of familiarity that you have to internalize. Now, after almost 45 years, I understand one of my teachers when I was in the high school that was telling us on the blackboard, was drawing something like this and telling us, for your life, somebody told you this is a snake. If I come and write here snake, it's hard for me to teach you that this is a snake, but as well, snake is a snake, Persian version of it, obviously. So meaning that one of the problem with the knowledge is once it's sitting there, it sometimes, depending on the personalities, prevent you to acquire more knowledge.
But maybe it could go the other way too, because I feel like once you start making these connections, it becomes easier and easier. Like I'm using the embroidery machine right now, and once I learn one way how to do something, then I'm like, well, if I can do it that way, then that means I can do this, and then I try it and it works. So I think it's kind of our responsibility to not get stuck in our own knowledge and understand that the world is constantly changing. Every day something's happening. So it's our responsibility to gain more knowledge and not just like hold fast in this, like be set in our specific ways.
And you just described the so-called Dunning-Kruger effect. Have you heard of that? Okay. This is actually in the game theory and psychology is actually something people talk about a lot. It's called the so-called Dunning-Kruger effect. The story is, or I have been told that this the person somewhere in the East Coast wanted to rob a bank and have heard that lemon juice make ink invisible. The true story is that if you write something with citrus acid, lemon juice, and you heat it up, it changes, and you can write with the invisible ink. And then when you heat it up, it changes the chemistry and then becomes visible. So you write with lemon ink. If you heat it up to a certain temperature, all of a sudden what you wrote, it wasn't visible until then become visible. So this guy understood that lemon makes things invisible. So he put lemon juice on his face and go rob a bank, thinking that the cameras cannot see him.
That is so dumb.
That is like an episode of Dumb and Dumber, right?
Yeah.
So, but that is the so-called Dunning-Kruger effect, is that if you know a little about something, your confidence is so high that you put lemon juice on your face to go rob a bank.
That's not what I was describing.
But let's talk about that. You did describe it in a different way. So, but then when you understand more and more, so first you acquire a little knowledge, you think you know everything, and then you're blocking everything else. But then you know more and more and more. You say, my God, I don't know nothing. Your confidence goes down, even though your knowledge is going up. But then you become more open for new knowledge. And then you achieve the expert. So the Dunning-Kruger effect goes like, your confidence is very high, but your knowledge is almost zero, and it's a danger zone. But then once you gain more knowledge, here's the confidence, your confidence goes down, and then comes up as your knowledge, you gain more knowledge again. And then you become at the level that you know that there is 9 ways to skin the cat. Because like you come out of residency, you just start learning the embroidery machine. And then you think you're so good at it. But then when you learn more, all the things you understand, all the things you didn't know, you say, oh my God, I'm not really good at it. And then you're all of a sudden more open to learn more and more. And then you acquire more knowledge, and then you're confident, the true confidence goes up. But then at that point, you understand what the other guy is doing is not wrong. It's just a different way of doing that. And that is the difference. Truly wise people are very tolerant. And that hence it comes that saying, that meme that says the stupids are so sure of everything, where the wise is full of doubt. Mm-hmm. So the doubt is what keep your mind open for new experience. So the knowledge, considering that is acquiring information that would benefit you, is truly comes after you are open to practically to understand that your way is maybe just one way of doing things.
What do you think is the difference between knowledge and wisdom?
Well, I think the wisdom is that when you have the knowledge enough to know that you know nothing. That is what that Socrates says, that have you heard that story of Socrates, that he goes to the miracle of that Delphi and says, "Who is who's the most wise person in the whole Athens?" Delphi tell him that you are, and Socrates doesn't take it as a compliment. Say, no, this cannot be true. I cannot be the most wise person in the whole Greece. Yeah, and so then he goes and start talking to people, all the philosophers and so on, and they are always so sure about their wisdom. And then at the end, he understands he's the wisest because he doesn't consider himself as the wisest, and he's not sure of himself. And that is actually, he knows that he doesn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
The understanding that he knows that he doesn't know anything, that makes him the wisest person.
Okay.
And that is practically what comes with the knowledge, that every knowledge, every piece of information brings 100 questions with it.
True, and every piece of information that you gain kind of sometimes can make you feel disappointed about other pieces of information. That's something that I've been having a problem with lately.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you think you know how someone is or how something was, and then you learn, like I'm reading about Vietnam right now. And then you get like so disappointed in different people when the more you know, the more you can be disappointed. Mm-hmm. Like they say, ignorance is bliss.
And that is truly, I mean, this is the old thing. Ignorance is a bliss.
It truly is. It truly is blissful, because if you have the knowledge, like this is capable, like this is possible to happen, but it just doesn't happen. For instance, everything that you're going through right now, you have an amazing technique and you have the knowledge, and you're trying to share the knowledge with different people, but they're shutting you down and they're being stuck in their ways. So then you feel disappointed because you have this knowledge that someone else doesn't have, and they won't accept it and they won't take it.
I am disappointed. I'm disappointed. But on the other side, if you look into the history of humanity, remember Semmelweis, remember, Marshall, remember all these people who really move things, has gone through the same thing. So the future is there. If it's for me or not, if I see the fruits of that or not, I don't know. But the future, but that actually give me a little bit of a pride. See, I'm in the shoes of people who really move the needle. Even though I'm not appreciated and so on, that I don't believe that really matters. And everything I'm fighting, the knowledge they're fighting to withhold. Literally, they tell me that this doesn't work. Like they tell you they haven't even heard of that and so on. That is because we are so far ahead of the curve, and that has been always like that. It's not like really specific to us in any way. It's just, there's a saying in German: "Der Bauern, the Bauer frisst nicht, was nicht kennt," meaning that the farmer doesn't eat what he doesn't know. The Bauer doesn't eat something that he doesn't know.
Can you explain it?
Well, the Bauer, the farmer, say you bring him a potato, he understands potato, he eats it. But you bring him a tiramisu, he doesn't understand tiramisu. Mm-hmm. And you understand tiramisu. You have potato, you have tiramisu. Which one would you eat? The farmer is going to live his entire life eating potato. Always ignore tiramisu. That's what it means. It's a German saying. But for eating, they don't use actually the human version of eating, because in German there are two words for eating: essen for human, fressen for animals. They use for that saying, they use the animal version of eating. Is there something like that in English?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, so in German it's interesting, That's another thing. If you want to know knowledge, go learn different languages, because once you can put your mind in a different context, that makes it easier for you as well to go to more context and change the context of the knowledge.
I think it helps you understand people better too. If you know different languages, you can understand their culture, because obviously whatever is important to them, they're going to have more words for that.
That's right.
Or whatever happens a lot, they'll have more words for that. So in the US, like, we have so many words for time because that's important to us.
Like what?
Minute, second, now, later, hour, like.
Oh, I thought all languages are that.
Immediately.
But some they are not like. Yeah.
We have a lot of words for time and for measuring things, money, stuff like that. Like, we're very focused on finances, time, staying on schedule, work. Where, like, a lot of other cultures, they have a lot of language. Like, I always use the indigenous Alaskans. They have a lot of languages for snow.
Yeah. Yeah, we have only snow.
Yeah, snow, sleet, but they have a lot of different languages or words for snow.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, one of my best friends, she taught me something that really helped me be a little bit more tolerant, and it was, what you know. And that can help you with dealing with other people, because just because they don't know it doesn't mean they're not dumb. They just don't know it yet.
Yep. There's another thing that about the knowledge, so-called course of knowledge. That as well, the terminology in the psychology. Sometimes, like, when you know something and you try to talk to people, but they don't have your depth of knowledge regarding that, they just over the head, and you cannot wrap your head around that. Why can they not see that? Like, that's like a water on the table. How can you not see that? Whereas they don't have the same tools to understand that. For that you need the background, the vocabulary, understanding of that, and that's what's called course of knowledge. That because it is so obvious to you, you cannot understand why it's not obvious to everybody else.
And then I think when you have that, sometimes then it makes it harder to explain it, because you don't know what level, like, to start explaining stuff, and what someone might consider matters and might consider doesn't matter to the specific topic that you're talking about. So then you end up over explaining it, and then that person's just done listening. Like, they can't understand. They're actually not in the mood to even understand anymore.
That is sometimes hard to. That is why people stay in their social strata. Like professors, most of their friends are professors. And the bodybuilders, most of their friends are bodybuilders.
I keep trying to get my friends to go to yoga with me, and they're like, "Oh, yoga's not for me. I don't like yoga. Come with me." But that's true. All my friends are very similar.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you guys for watching. This was Essence of Life. We talked about what is the nature of knowledge. I'm Amanda Armagast.
I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence. Thank you for joining us.
One thing we didn't talk about on this was how important it is to know what you don't, to understand that you don't know things.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Socrates, that he was the wisest because he knew he doesn't know anything.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, first along. Lucky I didn't say something.
Like what?
Is that for you or what?
Yeah, but
doesn't fit?
Well, I just didn't use it.
Okay.
I got distracted.
I gotta go see what they're doing, and maybe if he's going to go and see his family, then I don't take him out for dinner.
Yeah, let me take a picture of you guys, then I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm excited to do what is hyper.